Let fate make the first move. Finding a worthy opponent brings me immense joy.
In gameplay situations, with the hero Yixing, very often we encounter the issues of not being able to land CC or damage on the enemy, as well as poor survivability. Let's take a closer look at these today. Difficulty in landing crowd control. If Yixing is having difficulty exerting crowd control on the enemy, pay closer attention to how skill 2 and the ultimate are unleashed. The two skills should be used one after another. Can't seem to land enough damage. Can't seem to deal high enough damage? That's because Yixing is relying too much on skill damage and not using his enhanced basic attacks enough. Skills should also be aimed at the same area to produce sustained area damage. A hero that keeps croaking. If Yixing just keeps dying, it's because his passive hasn't been put to good use. A better understanding of the hero's counters and using his passive at the right time will improve his chances of survival.
Greetings, I am Yixing. The lights shine on the world.
Yixing primarily deals damage by using his skills 2 and 1 back-to-back to enhance his basic attacks. This triggers his passive, which then deals area damage to the enemy. His ultimate is mostly used to initiate a fight, then mire the enemy along with skill 2. The immunity from his passive gives him more time on the field.
The board also represents the duality of the world.
Minimizing skill CDs. Each time Yixing lands a hit on the enemy with his skill 1, the CD of his skill 2 is shortened. So, when his skill 2 is in cooldown, use skill 1 as much as possible to bring skill 2 out of cooldown as soon as possible. Using the ultimate skill. Most heroes are unable to escape the area targeted by Yixing's ultimate skill. When using this skill, Yixing can also limit the enemy's maneuvering room by making use of the walls on the field. Stringing skill combos. Yixing can use his ultimate directly while the enemy is under control from his skill 2 to more reliably box in the enemy. He can also use his ultimate first, then his skill 2, to keep the enemy where he wants them to be before the pieces of his ultimate set piece have finally come into place.
We spend our lives looking for a place to belong.
Early game. Yixing's skill 2 is fantastic for lane clearing. So, in early game, he can choose to either support the side lanes or engage in jungling. Doing so can help his team build up an advantage and also allow him to quickly stack his passive damage buffs at the same time. Mid-game. Mid-game is a time when team fights break out very frequently. What Yixing needs at this time is exquisite control over when and where his ultimate is unleashed. He can ambush the enemy from the brush, or work together with his teammates to establish total crowd control over the enemy after using his ultimate at the opportune time. Late game. As we go into the late game, when the enemy is advancing, Yixing can use his ultimate to trap the enemy under the tower, then counterattack along with his teammates. When the team is on the offense, he can also use his ultimate to cover the enemy tower, then work together with his teammates to quickly sew up the match.
Black stones represent the unpredictable nights. White stones represent the eternal stars.
The skill combo increases damage output primarily by stacking ghost stones using Yixing's skill 1. Then, when the enemy comes within range, Yixing can use his skill 2 to exert crowd control on the enemy. Then, skill 1 to refresh and enhance his basic attack. Finally, he can follow with 1A to deal more damage.
What does it mean to have a place to call home?
This combo is great for keeping the enemy where you want them to be. Yixing should use skill 2 right after his ultimate to exert stable crowd control on the enemy, then follow up with the 1A combo to maximize damage dealt alongside the rest of the team. Opening with the ultimate can block the enemy's movements, following which skill 2 immobilizes the enemy, rendering them ripe for the picking.
Some choices are not about winning or losing.
If the enemy is some distance away, Yixing can use Flash to close the gap, then use his skill 2 and ultimate to crowd control the enemy repeatedly. The right lineup makes it easier for Yixing to win. Burst heroes like Lu Bu and Marco Polo, who are capable of covering a significant area, are great partners as they can deal high amounts of damage by leveraging on the CC capabilities of Yixing's ultimate. On the other hand, having crowd control heroes like Lian Po and Guigutsu on the team can help Yixing ensure a steady stream of control over the enemy. Against heroes with strong dash capabilities, like Jing or Luna, Yixing will find it difficult to evade the enemy's pursuit due to his lack of movement skills.
High ground tower is under attack.
And if the enemy is a hero whose ultimate has significant crowd control capabilities and range, such as Changfei, Yixing can find himself face to face with the enemy and wither from their attacks very quickly.